Oh, yeah! Welcome, Pewter Report readers, listeners, and viewers to the best edition of the Pewter Report podcast, energized by Celsius. I'm John Ledyard. With me is JC Allen of PewterReport.com, and Tom Brady is back. He's back, JC. Let's go!
Let's go!
What a night in Tampa Bay. What a night. The people are buzzing. The news is true. Tom Brady is back from retirement after 40 days, and he's back with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So you can suck it, Mike Florio. And I can't wait to put that fool in his place on this pod. We got a bunch of great stuff lined up today, JC. I'm rubbing my hands together. Let's go, baby. The GOAT is back.
I can't believe it. I'm still like processing and I'm at shock. I'm at lost for words. Like, it's funny because he tweeted something out and it was at him at the Glazers game and I don't watch soccer. I think it's Cristiano Ronaldo or whatever, whoever he is. And he's like, so you're done? And he just makes his face like, and it's inaudible what he says. And, it was posted all around. And it's just been one breadcrumb of another breadcrumb down the line of speculation. He's never really said the word retirement. He's never really kind of committed to it in any press conference. And then just boom, we're going along our normal day, just talking about could they be players for Deshaun Watson? Saints have a deal. Panthers have a deal going in. And we're like, what could they do? What would they give up? What would the Packers look at? Who's untouchable? And then not even able to have that conversation fully, and then boom, he just goes off the rails and breaks the news on his Twitter and Instagram page, and he's coming back. It's crazy.
Down bad 12 hours ago, JC Allen, talk about trading for Baker Mayfield. Now we back. We back like we never left, baby. It was a dark time. Talking about bringing Rotten Fitzpatrick back on one hip.
Tyler Heineke.
Talk about Trenton Heineke at quarterback.
Trevor Sikkema, Simeon, whatever his name is.
I'm back trying to keep a strong face for y'all. Kyle Trask.
Oh, I know.
Wow.
We were just trying to do our best to just hype Kyle Trask as much as I think he's got a good future ahead of him.
We weren't even hyping.
We were
praying.
We're just not yet, but we don't have to worry about that. You know why?
The GOAT is
Tom Brady's back.
The GOAT is back. We're going to talk about it all on the pod, though. What does it mean for the rest of the Bucs free agents? What's the ripple effect here in Tampa Bay, obviously, with the offseason plans? Why the news dropping today is so big? How he pulled this off with nobody getting a hint of the fact that it was coming? What's led to the decision? I actually don't know that part, so we're just going to leave it. But everybody in the chat, first of all, appreciate the super chats. If there was ever a time to drop them like it's hot, it's definitely tonight. And so we appreciate those rolling in. We'll get to your super chat questions and comments here. But I want to hear from people. If with an accompanying super chat, that's great. But I want to hear from people. Where were you? What were you doing when you got this news just a few minutes ago? What was happening in your life when you received this news? And how long did it take you to believe that Tom Brady was not hacked, like a lot of people have been getting hacked lately on Twitter, and that this news was actually real, life-changing, beautiful news? Let me know where you were at. I am very curious to hear the stories from y'all. A good super chat here from Brandon. So glad I don't have to cheer for Deshaun Watson, brother. You and us both, and that we don't have to cover him. Terrific. Got to bode well for re-signing free agents too. Super Bowl, we're coming back. Suck it, Florio. Suck it, Florio.
Look good.
Thanks as always, y'all. Keep up the awesome work.
Love you, Brian.
Suck it, Florio. Florio just eating L's right now on his Twitter, just devouring L's.
He's so mad right now.
All the L's he's eating. It's incredible. Oh, we got a lot of people coming up. PR battle plans revision. Oh, you have no idea. Those battle plans are in the trash.
The whole thing.
JC, I actually thought about bringing Brady back in my battle plan, but everybody knows I always try to be super authentic, and I just did not think he was coming back. So I was like, I could do this because it would get people going, but then I should have done it.
Right? There's several changes I would have made to my battle plan already now. But
we need to do battle plans round 2. The free agency starts tomorrow. So we don't really have time for that.
Bust them out. We don't need descriptions. Just put it down.
That's right. We got another comment here, no super chat here from Armando. We appreciate the $5 super chat. Sign Brady to a multi-year extension. I don't care if we ever see Trask again. Does this mean Gronk, Lenny, Jensen, Kappa will come back along with free agents for cheap? By the way, for people who haven't heard, in case you don't know, this is true. Tom Brady is back. So if you popped in this pod, what are these clickbait guys doing in this pod trying to get people to talk about Tom Brady? No, it's real. It's news. It just happened. Tom Brady's back, and we're covering it here
back,
as we always do. PewterReport.com. We bring in the one and only Josh Capo also to talk about this super chat from Armando. Josh, I'm sorry I have your face blocked right now, but what do you think, Josh? Is this a possibility? Bringing free agents back, could this really go down this way? Your head's I can't.
Yeah. Let me drop it.
Like,
we'll go a couple.
You're rounding in the camera. There you go, Ferg. All right. So is this going to change some things for some of these guys, you think?
Yeah, I think it definitely could. I think one of the ones that the comment hit there is, I definitely think this brings Gronk way back into the picture. Okay. I think he was just recently asked about who he might want to play with, and he had mentioned Joey Burrow. I don't really think there's anybody he'd rather play with than Tom Brady. So definitely puts Tampa Bay back into the front running to get his services back.
Mm-hmm.
The players right now, the Bucs players all up and down Twitter just freaking out. It's so great to see. I can't.
Yeah. What do we have on that front? Because I was looking, it's pretty telling. I'm in one of those groups that shows like guys that run the Bucs team, and I know Mike Evans tweeted LFG, Mike Edwards with the smiley face, Grant Stewart with the let's go, and those guys are under contract. Cyril Grayson tweeting a couple times about it, but Chris Godwin with the sunglasses, I saw as well. Oh, Devin White with
let's go. Get another one.
He doesn't want to go to another team now. Is that what he said?
I guess not, right? We got
Cyril Grayson. I think the one that you touched on.
You guys, Cyril Grayson.
Yeah,
what were you saying,
John? The one that you touched on the most, that's the most pressing, would be Chris Godwin. Obviously, he was already going to be on the team this year with the Bucs franchise tagging him, but there's still a lot of work to do because his current cap hit under the tag is about $19.2 million, and they've got a lot of work to do in order to get him signed up for a long-term deal, which will bring that number down and give them more bullets to go after more of the guys who are unrestricted free agents, as well as potentially trying to bolster the roster with other players.
All right, that's coming way down. That's going to be a minimum. We're talking about a $6 million cap hit, if that. I mean, he's not coming back for money now. He's coming back because he wants to play the game. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him take a pay cut and not even pay it $25 million. Tom Brady's back, guys.
Pay cuts. He's out here talking pay cuts.
He's back. He couldn't. He was on a podcast. Like, I spent 5 weeks with my family. He knows down to the week, 5 weeks, 2 days, 24 hours, and 37 minutes. He's like, I'm getting back to the football field. Not enough.
He is a master of social media. He didn't let that video with Ronaldo go out without proofing it and deciding, I'm going to let that question go. I'm going to let the world figure it out. And then just a couple hours later, he makes the announcement.
Crazy. Comments are great, by the way. People talking about they were taking a dump and literally crapped themselves when Brady happened because they couldn't believe it. Putting my kids to bed and then heard this, I screamed and woke them up. Who cares? I fell asleep in my chair and my boy texted me and it woke me up.
Oh my God.
We were about to sit down to dinner at my house and we have a no cell phones at the table policy.
Yeah.
And I showed it to my wife and she goes, all right, one night we can make this happen.
I was literally making dinner for the kids and I was like, okay, I gotta jump on this article. And now it's like, it's bedtime routine right now. And I just left my wife. I'm like, you got this, right? She didn't respond. I just went anyways. I'm like, Tom Brady's back. I'll make up for it.
Tom Brady just did the same thing. So
for it, babe. I promise.
Oh man, this is funny. Scott says, feeling sorry for the guy who bought TB12's last not touchdown ball today for $500K. Yeah, the dude bought the touchdown ball today for like 500 some K, and it's not going to be the last one.
That's tough. Jalen Ramsey, I loved his quote too.
What did he say?
He was like, yeah, throw that last touchdown to someone else.
I saw it.
It was so upset to be the last touchdown. Oh man!
The comments are pouring in. I'll try to get to all of them. Big MGM said with a super chat, glad for your fan base. Goat gonna goat. Yeah, it does change everything. Honestly, moves. We move into the offseason and we'll start to unpack and talk about what some of these other moves are. I mean, I don't think it changes anything for Ali Marpet. It seems like he's kind of got his. Well, first of all, he already submitted his papers, right, Josh? So that would complicate the process considerably.
I am retired. I am 12.
Right. So I don't think he's necessarily coming back, but if they can, I think it does. Where I think it matters is I think it increases. I don't even know if it changes anything with Godwin, to be honest. I think they're getting a deal done there no matter what. So I'm not sure how much it changes with that situation. I mean, Godwin signing a deal for multiple years. We said this after Brady retired. He's concerned far more beyond this year, which is the only thing guaranteed to the Bucs with Brady. So I think Godwin's just the plan is for him back regardless. And I think it is going to happen. It sucks that it's taken so long, but I think it is going to happen. The question then becomes for the rest of the group, who does it affect? And I don't think it changes things for some of the younger players necessarily. The Bucs may be more competitive for them, but I don't think it changes their outlook like a Leonard Fournette or an Alex Kappa maybe. But what about for Ryan Jensen? There were reports today he could get up to $16 million. Josh, I know you had some reservations about that report anyway. Just not that it was wrong, just that it would be a pretty drastic contract offer to put him in the 16 mil per year range, anywhere close to 4 or 5 year deal, which is the deal was compared to in Joe Tooney's. Plus, do you think now he's going to be 31? He already wanted to stay in Tampa. Now their chances of being the NFC representative in the Super Bowl just went way up. Could that impact things for Ryan Jensen?
Yeah, I think it definitely does. That report that came out earlier, it definitely opened my eyes. You're talking about comparing him to Joe Tooney. Joe Tooney got a contract commensurate with what tackles were making, and he reset the guard market. Guards typically get paid more than centers, so now you're going 2 steps down. And this would reset the center market if Jensen got that by like over 20%, which is unheard of. And I do think that, and you had pointed out, there was a big age discrepancy. Joe Tooney was 28, playing a position that gets paid higher. Ryan Jensen's 31, playing a position that doesn't typically get paid quite as much. I think that Brady coming back, yes, the team is going to prioritize Ryan Jensen, but I also think that they're going to find some middle ground there because I would imagine he definitely wants to play with Brady again. So that 16 million, I'm going to say that's off the table. You get closer to the 12.5 to 13, which is the top of the market right now. I could see them doing that deal. I could see Jensen being happy with it. And I could see the Bucs being happy with it as well.
Right. That's a good point. Lots to look forward to there. Kelsey,
threw a little wrench in there, making 14 on that 1 year deal with the Eagles. And
but it is a 1 year. That should change things, right, guys? Like I think just 1 year, 14 mil with the Eagles. They're not like up against it. They could probably commit that. It's a little bit different to commit to that total over that average over multiple years, right?
I do think. I was going to say, I do think the fact that Brady is here, for 1 more year, it may change the philosophy a little bit. I mean, I know a lot of fans are worried about pushing the cap, pushing the hit down. Well, now you have another chance. You look at the NFC, Russell Wilson's out of there. You got Aaron Rodgers back, but.
Right. Yeah, I have absolutely no concerns at all with pushing the cap down the road if you're in a win now window. You go all in to win the Super Bowl this year with Brady, no question about it. Josh, I want to get your thoughts on that in a second. We got another guest we want to bring into the show in a second here, but first, Celsius powers active lives every day with essential functional energy, and they are the title sponsors of today's Pewter Report podcast. I'm drinking the sparkling orange pomegranate, and I am going to need it tonight, fellas. Not just for the Tom Brady content, but we've got a bunch of free agency stuff that we have been prepping the last couple of nights. Josh has been writing free agency preview articles, basically pre-writing a lot of these. They're going to resign. They're going to go somewhere else. Articles. I've been pre-writing some of them. JC and Matt are jumping on a couple as well. And we've got the free agency tracker that is going up. So I got to format that tonight and get it up. So Celsius is going to be powering me through my night. The sparkling orange pomegranate, healthy energy. It accelerates metabolism, burns body fat, no sugar. Really, top of the line energy drink stuff. The flavors, they're fantastic. A variety of them. They're all good, to be honest. It's hard to find a bad one. I think people in the chat would agree. You can drop your favorite flavor in the chat if you'd like. I know people enjoy doing that, and it's helpful for others too to find out what's popular and kind of trendy right now amongst the flavors. But you can find them a bunch of different places too. You can definitely go over to Celsius.com and use the store locator to find out where they are near you, or click on the banner ads at pewterreport.com. Use that Amazon subscribe and save option to get them coming to you regularly with that discount as well. That's always a good way to go about it, I think, is to get them coming on the regular. I know that's what Scott does. By the way, some people have asked, where is Scott? Scott is actually on vacation right now. He pulled over on the side of the road to make the graphic for tonight's podcast. So give a huge shout out to Scott for some absolutely legendary work tonight from the side of the road on his laptop. A little applause for Scott Reynolds, ladies and gentlemen, doing work while he's out visiting. He's hanging out with family and visiting his daughter as well. So exciting stuff for him, but the timing not exactly fortuitous for Scott, who was texting us like, what is going on? And losing his marbles for sure. But in Colorado, Luke says, yeah, Scott finally made it out to Colorado thanks to our friends at Immuni Financial. But we don't have Scott on today's podcast, but we do welcome back Paul Atwall. Everybody give it up in the chat for Paul. Been a while since you've seen Paul on the show. Paul, how you doing, man? What are your thoughts? Are you interested in football again?
I think so. I mean, I'm here, right? It's a pretty exciting time. That felt like a lot longer than those are the longest 40 days I can remember. So I'm happy.
I was really expecting you to show up with like a full beard and like your hair's long and you haven't like showered in 40 days.
Yeah. No, I just did all that in the last 15 minutes.
That's why you were late for the pod. You had to get yourself presentable to represent Tom Brady. But
I had to beg my way back into the group chat.
Yeah, that's right. Paul pops back into the group chat for the first time in a while. So no, it's good stuff for sure. It's great to see you, man. It's great to have you on the pod. Paul, what are your quick thoughts on this? Obviously, I really want us all to take turns just hammering Florio for this, for his reports, so we can all feel free to do that, obviously. But what are your thoughts on this, just in terms of, we heard all the stuff in the offseason about, Brady, the rumors and stuff and Arians and all this and that. It seems like a non-issue now. And as you look at the team moving forward, what do you think are the big things? Okay, this is great. This is exciting. What has to stay in place in order for this group to continue to have the kind of success they've had since Brady's been there?
And I've been all over the place, just biting onto any fan theory I can just to cope. So I have no idea in terms of like the Arian stuff. It's given what's happened so far, I'm assuming they're all good there. And if anything, no reason to expect anything except the best that we've seen so far, right? Third year in the system, third year together. It seemed like in terms of what they did offensively last season, schematically, they were so much better than they were in the 2020 season. Just everything that they had answers for everything. So I think in terms of that stuff, I only expect them to get better. The biggest challenge is the difficulty of their schedule.
Right. That is one of the more brutal schedules in the league. JC, I know you've taken a look at that schedule and you know what it's going to take, obviously, up against their schedule the way that it is. But this changes things. Now the Bucs are, one of the better teams too, like, with Brady coming back and hopefully some free agents too as well. The timing of this, JC, is not an accident, right? Brady knew that it would be fortuitous for him and this team if he figured out things before this happened. Now, this is also noteworthy because some people were saying, people who thought he was coming back, but coming back to the Bucs, were saying he'll come back if the Bucs show that I think Scott was among them, if the Bucs show that they'll make these kind of moves in free agency he wants them to make. If anything, it's been the opposite. Ali Marpet's retired. There's questions about some of these free agents, and he's like, I'm coming back anyway. Like this, I'm coming back. Like this is happening. So in the other ways, he's kind of taken it upon himself to make that move before he even sees what happens with the Bucs in free agency, in order to, what he believes is, embolden the Bucs to go after free agents and also embolden free agents to say, I want to return to the Bucs.
Yeah, I mean, it's huge because, right, the tampering period opens up tomorrow at noon. So with the news of Tom Brady being there, it gives the Bucs more leverage to go to their guys and say, hey, we're not figuring out the quarterback situation. We got the quarterback situation. What do you guys think? Is there a way we can that no Florida, no income state income tax comes back into play and saying, hey, it's just another piece of leverage to have. We're playing with Tom Brady. We're trying to bring it back. We're trying to go for 2 again. I don't know, like run it back. I know they're like saying that, but it gives them that ability to go to their own guys and then also reach out to other free agents as a Juju Smith-Schuster, a Max Williams, a Gronk, any of those guys, and say, hey, we're making another run, or we're making a run. Come play with us. Let's figure out your contract, kick the can down the field, maybe take a little bit less, and announcing it now allows them to. I mean, we know. I mean, it's the NFL. There's tampering. There have been discussions all this whole time with free agents and whatnot. That's how we hear that Jensen is going to get $15 million on the open market. But when the official tampering period, it just kind of opens up all that for the Bucs to say, hey, look, we got Tom Brady back. What are you doing?
Right. Absolutely. Terrence Davis with the $10 super chat. Super happy that my super chat about Brady not retiring in the Bucs Super Bowl window still being open won't make it to freezing cold takes. Yes, Terrence, that is very fortuitous for you that that's not happening, because those moments have been on the freezing cold take side of things for a while, and those moments are it can be a little bit tough for sure. Matthew for the $5 super chat says sign Allie Will, draft the Iowa center, cornerback, and a running back. What free agent does this change things the most for? Paul, I'll start with you and we'll go around here. What free agent does this change things for the most out of the Bucs room? Is this clearly a Gronkowski? It changes the most for Gronkowski, quite obviously situation, or is it a situation where it could be more meaningful for a guy like Ndamukong Suh or Ryan Jensen, or maybe just all the above? What do you think, Paul? What are your thoughts on the free agent landscape now? Who this makes the most?
I'm glad that you mentioned Gronkowski, because I was drawing a blank for a second, but clearly that's the right answer. Like, it's not even close, I think, right? Like, I think it goes from him most likely not being a Buccaneer next season to suddenly him being like overwhelmingly likely to be back with the team. But taking that one away, maybe I would say maybe a Jensen, right? If I'm guessing, or maybe that's just optimism. But yeah, it's got to be Gronk. I think, he's been throwing out the names of like Burrow, who he'd want to play with. And today I saw apparently Tennessee is really in the mix, but it's just hard to see Gronk catching passes from anybody else.
Yeah, it is. I mean that it can't happen, obviously, but it would be a little bit weird if Brady like unretired came back and Gronk was like, no, I'm still going somewhere else. He could retire. I could still see that on the table. He could just say, I'm done. Brady's not, I'm done. But the fact that he hasn't announced it yet and free agency basically opens tomorrow, that kind of had me thinking he was coming back anyway. And now it seems like if he is coming back, it would be kind of
been running at
somewhere
the
Now, I have a different take on that. I think that this changes things most for a Jordan Whitehead. And the reason for that is with Tom Brady coming back, you figure the Bucs are going to do everything they can to maximize the team's offense. They've got to figure out the wide receiver 3. They've got to figure out the protection in front of him with the interior offensive line. And you figure they're probably going to spend for that. Any money spent on the offense is most likely going to mean less money spent on the defense. And while we know defense is typically much more volatile than offense, it seems like a sound strategy for the team to try and maximize the side of the ball that's less volatile and the side of the ball that has Tom Brady. And so I think that may reprioritize the team where they had a question mark at quarterback. And so they're thinking, all right, let's bolster our defense as much as possible to make a play for the NFC South. I think this says, all right, let's go all in on our offense, and we're going to fill in the defense with more economical options. And Jordan Whitehead, he's got his Super Bowl ring. He's had his opportunity to cash in. He'll have other opportunities down his career to find more Super Bowl rings. I don't see him necessarily taking a lesser deal to stay with the Bucs. So I think this changes things for him on that side of the ball and for others on that side of the ball as well.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. And what about Carlton Davis? Does it change things for him, JC, as you see it? Still a tough situation.
It's tough, right? Because you're not going to pay top of the money. We're hearing J.C. Jackson's trying to sniff around 19. We know Jalen Ramsey only makes 20-21. So, are you going to go that high for a guy like Carlton Davis, who has been a great player and, has had some splash plays? But again, is he a 1 interception a year? Is he a 4 guy? How many pass deflections? Can you really justify paying $17, $18 million for a corner? I think you mentioned his name already. I think that's Ndamukong Suh, who it really works for, because with Suh, he's a mercenary, right? Scott loves to say it. He's a mercenary. He goes where he's got the best chance. Well, he's already got a dead cap hit, and he's got a good chance of repeating with the Bucs here if they can, bring the band back together on the offensive side of the ball, as Josh said. So I think Suh looks at this situation and says, I want to play one more year. I'm in Tampa anyways. Let's go for it. And I think that makes him come back. Hopefully a little bit cheaper than $9 million, but I think he comes back.
Yeah, lots to process in terms of the free agents, no question about it. Good thoughts from y'all, no doubt. There are some question marks there with the whole situation, really, and how it arises for those who haven't seen. It's true. The news is true. Tom Brady is back, and it's taking over the airwaves a little bit right now. And because of that, we're excited to bring on a Pewter Report great and a Tampa Bay legend himself, who was confirmed out of the state of Florida when this all went down. Is that correct? Tampa Bay Trevor Sikkema. You were not in Florida when this all went down, right?
This is correct. I'm currently in Charlotte, North Carolina. I was not anywhere near the state lines in the state of Florida. My girlfriend was in the city of Tampa, so I don't know.
This is significant too. Hold on a second. She was in Tampa. I mean, like, are we talking about this whole time you've been saying you were the reverse jinx here? Is she the one with the power?
I think she might be. But look, imagine for 1 second ever doubting that anybody else was going to take a significant snap at quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2022, other than Thomas, Edward, Patrick, Jesus, Brady the third. It was just never going to happen, dude. It was, this is what we always believe. Jensen's playing for free. Carlton's playing for free.
Carlton.
Marpet's coming back. I mean, they're just getting the band back together.
Gronk's actually paying the team. He's paying the team.
Right.
Brady's salary.
Just so he doesn't have to play with a different quarterback again.
Brady's like, actually, Florio's right. I do want to go to the 49ers. Gronk's like, no, you don't, buddy. Here, you want another 25 mil?
Dude, so it's funny. I was just recording an episode of NFL Stock Exchange podcast with Connor Rogers, and I was talking for like 30 seconds, and Connor was like trying to get my attention. And I was like looking at my notes, and I stopped talking, and he just goes, Brady's coming back. And I'm like, what? And he's like, Brady's coming back. And my heart sank because I wondered if Brady was coming back to like get traded to the 49ers. And I was like, no. And then I immediately, I sprinted to Twitter, of course. And then I saw at the bottom, he said he's playing in Tampa Bay. And yeah, like I said, I mean, couldn't be me ever doubting that this was going to be the case.
But it could be Mike Florio, who thinks Tom Brady hates Bruce Arians, hates Byron Leftwich, hates the city of Tampa Bay, may or may not also hate Blaine Gabbert and a lot of other humans.
Yeah, Leftwich hates Arians. Brady hates Arians. Jason Light hates Arians. Yeah, right. Everybody can't get along with everybody. Bruce Arians and Jason Light's relationship has been fractured for years. Like, it's so funny what we have heard this past offseason. And like, I'm not trying to take shots at anybody. Like, being an insider and reporting things is hard. But for those who have always been following this situation in Tampa, John, you and I have talked about this. It is so well run behind the scenes. The relationships between the front office people and the coaches and the players is so good that I really do think that a lot of people just try to find any way to poke holes in it. And we saw a bunch of headlines and stories and everything. Obviously, it started with, Brady's early retirement. But I don't know. It just, I feel like people have just tried to poke holes in Tampa's situation. And the fact is, they've become a destination. They're a team that people want to play for.
I can confirm that as a longtime New England fan. They will take any shot they can at the poke holes at Tom Brady and anything he does because he is that damn good.
Yeah. Dude, I was just going to say, JC, you being a Patriots fan and then just being able to cover the Bucs, I mean, you're basically Brady's like publicist at this point. You're like working for his PR team.
He's just planning for books after all this. That's all that it is. He's got books coming out.
Book deal, Open locker rooms next season too, so I can add to the story as well. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, I asked people at the beginning of this podcast like where they were when they heard the news, like what they were doing. So we've gotten some incredible responses. John Ward said he was feeding my son his bottle, ended up dropping it and getting breast milk everywhere, and a nice glare from my wife. Breast milk explosion. Headline: Bucs quarterback Brady returns, causes breast milk explosion.
I can't.
Oh, jeez.
That is an all-timer. That is an
incredible
that is an
super chat.
all-time moment. Holy cow.
Also, I hope Trevor enjoyed his
It's
unbanned.
unbanned. That's true.
Plus,
Unbanned now.
he just donated the money for the extra formula to us.
That's right. It's for the extra four. That's right. Now he needs to send some extra breast milk his way. Gabriel with the $5 super chat. Someone don't tell Casey she might pass out from the thought of Brady to Christian Watson. You think Juju back in the cards now? Let's touch on this real quick, Trevor. I know you only have a couple minutes, and I appreciate you jumping in here on extremely short notice. As in, I texted Trevor 10 minutes ago and asked him if he'd come on the pod and make an appearance because I saw y'all asking for him in the chat for sure. So, Trevor, the wide receiver 3 spot was pretty much a real issue last year because
Right.
Godwin, AB, and Evans only played a couple games together. And obviously, that's a spot that if Brady comes back, they're going to want to improve that spot regardless of what happens with Gronkowski. So where do you think the emphasis is in there? I first didn't think that they would go in on an option like Juju or Juju wouldn't pick them because he might be looking for a better situation quarterback wise. But now with Brady back, if he's going to sign a 1-year deal for cheap,
Right.
it could be like the perfect. Plus, he's the slot. He can play outside. He walks like crazy. He flex up Chris Godwin. Do you see some options out there for them to improve wide receiver 3?
Listen, man, Jason Light's not going to sleep for the next 72 hours because this changes everything, right? I mean, before you looked at the Bucs salary cap situation, you were going, okay, here's what we can offer certain players. We might be able to promise some situations down the road. Obviously, Blaine Gabbert's unproven, Kyle Trask's unproven. They might make a splash. They try to still make a splash at quarterback, but everything with their free agent negotiations was basically just like based off of hope. And now this is completely different. Like we are going to see what the Bucs were able to do the last 2 years, and really mainly when Brady first initially announced that he was coming to Tampa. And that is, you are going to see people want to play with Brady. He played incredible last year. There's a good chance that he's still going to play at a very high level next year. And like you mentioned, like whether it's Juju or maybe even players in the defensive side of the ball, like it doesn't matter. People are going to want to play for Tom Brady. They know that the window is still open for Tampa Bay. They've already done it once, and they want to be part of them doing it again. So, I mean, the answer to your question is yes. I mean, there's plenty of different receiver options out there. There's also receiver options in the draft that you and I have talked about, but as crazy as it is to say, no player is off the table because we don't know, obviously, like the highest paid free agents. Okay. Then probably, but like, we don't know what other free agents are going to be willing to do to take a little bit less money, be a little bit more flexible to play with Brady. So to answer your question, yeah, they will be interested. And I think guys like Juju would be interested too.
Right. And that's exactly right. I mean, the 1-year deal players are for sure. Like you said, it could be a lot of different options, but what it does is it just tells the Bucs there's no way Brady can come back and you have to go all in this week. It has to be, I mean, you screw the cap 1 year.
Oh, yeah.
You don't care. You have to go all in. You know it already what's possible with Brady. Like if you were healthy last year, you're probably in the Super Bowl, maybe winning it. So like they know that what's on the table, they've got to go all in, right, Trevor?
If you didn't go 0 blitz last year, you're probably in the Super Bowl and winning it. Let's not even talk about the health factor. Like,
right? No, yeah. I mean, you're totally right there. And look, I know that Bucs fans have made fun of Saints fans for a while because of how much the Saints have like kicked the can down the road, and now finally the Bills coming due and all of that. But like, I don't think Mike Greenberg and Jason Light are going to let it get out of control. But John, you were right. The mindset is there. Like this is the winning window. Like you're still here with Brady. This is the way that it is. This is the way that you have set this thing up to be. And you and I have had conversations before where I've told you, I always thought this was a 3-year window with Brady. When he retired back in January or whatever it is when it went official, I was very shocked because I thought the plan all along was a 3-year plan. I thought it was a 3-year window. And this now, I mean, it sort of complicates things because he was retired for a little bit, but like this continues the trend. And I think they are still well within their abilities to continue that winning window and just continue to compete this season.
Josh, talk to us real quick. Sorry, Josh, talk to us real quick about the cap situation with Brady now coming back and anything that would have been maybe changed with his cap numbers and how that can affect things moving forward. Like the onus is there probably, is it even greater now that before Wednesday, obviously to get Chris Godwin extended, to get Mike Evans potentially extended, to get a restructure done with Shaq Barrett, like, get Cam Brate pay cut, like all those things got to happen pretty quickly, right?
Yeah, as it stands right at the moment, the Bucs are 2.7 million over the cap, and that doesn't include the Aaron Stinney deal that was announced over the weekend. That's another $1.4 million or so. So you're looking at a little over 4 million over the cap. Brady by himself, if they just took him on a simple restructure and brought his base pay down to the vet minimum, they can save almost $6 million right there. And that gets them into the area that they need to be to start working on the first day of the league year. Shaq Barrett and Mike Evans, you restructure both of them, and you're looking at another $20 million right off those two. And that doesn't include Evans potentially doing a extension instead of a restructure, and they could probably save a couple million more that way. So they definitely have the bullets in the gun to go after just about whoever they want, like Trevor said. And yeah, they're going to push the cap down the road a little bit, but with the way the cap continues to rise outside of the COVID year, and the fact that, and I keep saying this on Twitter, but JC had such a great point, I'm going to belabor it. After 2023, they've got very few financial commitments. So they have that room to do it. And when you've got Brady for potentially just one more year, you do it.
Right. Yeah, no question. That's the thing that people sleep on. The Saints were doing this for forever. So when they were pushing money down, there was already a lot of money in those other years, but the Bucs don't have that problem. 2022, 2023, yeah, they've got to push a little bit, but 2024, what'd you say, JC? 8 players under contract right now. And obviously there's going to be re-signing, so that'll change, but that's still that's hardly anybody, there's not a lot of options there. So it's pretty crazy.
And I think one of the other things that's real important for people to think about when we talk about some of those players who might want to come to Brady, the NFC is basically wide open. And that plays into some guys' decision making, because when you get in the playoffs, and if you perform in the playoffs and you make it to a Super Bowl and you win a Super Bowl, your next contract goes up because you have that on your resume. And it's an easier path to that in the NFC than it is in the AFC, especially that AFC West.
Yeah, I think what else it does too is, everyone was kind of like, they might be out of draft picks, trying to trade for Watson, this or that. What are they going to do? Those draft picks now enable you not to just draft younger players, but if you want to go out and trade for a veteran, a la what the Rams did with Von Miller, or make a move that way, you have that capability because you've got Brady there now. So, just a puppy.
I was going to say, I'm sure you're making great points, JC, but Marvel has made his inaugural appearance on the Pewter Report podcast.
He's out now. He's out. He walked out. He just walked out.
That's still in the show, I think, for a lot of people right now. So what up to Marvel, obviously the most famous person, I think, to ever be most famous creature to ever be on the Pewter Report podcast, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I know for sure that I'm the third most least famous being in my own household, behind Alyssa, obviously, and then my dog.
I mean, Marvel has a sponsorship deal, so
it's true, and I don't. Yeah, no, I'm just I'm just sitting here. I'm just sitting here tweeting. Yeah. So
that's right.
That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing in my life.
Trevor, I know I appreciate you taking a little bit of time. I'll let you get out of here, but obviously, I'm sure you want to make some predictions here. I mean, and just kind of tell the people what you envision now for this Bucs offseason period, the next week, and then also for the season.
Yeah. So I think obviously it starts with Randy Moss is coming out of retirement and he's going to play wide receiver 3 for Tampa because he's already got the chemistry with Brady. Yeah. So, I mean, that's going to happen. The 17-0, they're obviously going to go after that again. So I don't know what the early numbers are for the over under on the win total, but I bet the over because they're going to go 17-0. They're gonna face the Packers again in the NFC Championship, and they're gonna beat the Packers again, and then then Brady's gonna win a Super Bowl, and he's gonna actually get to ride off into the sunset the way that his story was always intended.
Wow.
So
20-0.
Yeah, right. Because he came back to go for the undefeated season that he was never able to get in New England, and so that'd be a great way to end his career.
Right. No question about it. No, we appreciate it, Trevor. Thanks so much for jumping. We all believe your gift of prophecy, man. We think this is exactly how it's going to happen. I
appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me on, y'all. Enjoy it.
Absolutely, buddy. Enjoy it and have a good night. Trevor Sickema, ladies and gentlemen. Glad he could make a little bit of time to jump on the show. Obviously, I know some of you guys got to get going as well, and I got to jump on TV here in a little bit, but just quickly, let's go around and just make sure we've had all our bases covered, and we appreciate all the super chats. By the way, if you're in the show right now and you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the Pewter Report podcast on YouTube and give the thumbs up. Hit us with some likes. I think we only got a handful of thumbs up so far, but there's a ton of people watching right now. So
1,300.
yeah, please give thumbs up.
Guys.
Give thumbs up if you can. Hit the like button on the YouTube. That helps boost our YouTube SEO, gets us out to more people and shows more people the stream so they can find it and they can watch as well. So we definitely appreciate y'all jumping in here and joining us for sure. We went through, guys, a couple days ago, yesterday actually. Do I publish it today or yesterday? I published it yesterday, and it was free agency predictions from each of the Pewter Report staff. You can no longer hold us to these because these were done before we knew that the Tom Brady was coming back, which definitely changes a lot for at least the older players, I think. I don't know how many of my predictions I'm changing, but I definitely think that there's now a much stronger chance that a guy like Rob Gronkowski comes back, who I had not coming back with the Bucs, and probably even a Carlton Davis, to be honest, just because the Bucs realize, okay, we're going to go all in. We can't lose our best corner here. Also, I think Davis is going to hit the market and maybe not get better deals than what the Bucs offered him, especially when you take the state income tax into consideration as well. So that's going to be my prediction there, is that I'm going to change some of the things up that I had in that. I think Carlton Davis is coming back. I already said Ryan Jensen is coming back. And I think I could see you being right too, Josh, and that Jordan Whitehead comes back as well. What are you thinking in terms of changing what you had, Josh, in your predictions for the free agents coming back to the Bucs?
Yeah, I definitely think Jensen and Gronk would be the two that I would heavily reconsider because I don't believe I had either one of them coming back. And I think now the odds are in favor of both of them returning to the team.
Yeah, I don't think there's no way they're going to want to lose their interior offensive line. They're going to go all out for Jensen and maybe even Kappa. I mean, it's with Marpet retiring, that would change. They would have let Kappa go if Marpet would have stayed. But with him retiring, in my mind, that changes things a bit in terms of their intensity to go after Kappa. JC, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think they keep the offensive line intact as much as they can. Maybe they draft a guard to bring in to compete with Stinney or Hainsey or Leverett, one of those guys. Brady does have some friends that used to play in New England and that are free agents as well. So maybe it is a situation where you let Davis go and you bring in a guy like JC Jackson, a known playmaker, Mr. INT himself. There's going to be so many different things that the Bucs are able to do now with their own free agents and other free agents that might want to come and play with the Bucs. So I'm super excited to see how that shakes out. It's crazy. Their odds already went from Super Bowl from 20-1 to 10-1. I wish I got odds people when Brady retired in that short window. Really kicking myself for not just even putting $100 down. But there's gonna expect them to push money, and I know fans have been complaining about this. Expect them to push money to the future to re-sign some of these guys, some of their own guys, and some free agents, and hopefully they make a splash. They should be able to grab some really good, solid players in a pretty deep draft in positions that they could need in the draft as well. So
right,
and Tom Brady's back, guys.
Changes a lot. No question about it. Gabriel says, John, please throw us Bucs fans a bone and do an emergency revised podcast battle plan or revised battle plan. I don't know if there's literally time for my day to get one of those things done. Those battle plans take a minute, y'all, like a minute.
Not to mention with next week's news, with it being free agency, you're not going to want to hear about our battle
next
plan.
week tomorrow
about the actual Bucs battle plan, which will be coming out over the course of the next week.
Right, and tomorrow at noon, that tampering window lifts and players can talk to teams, and that is when we will start getting free agent news
right away at
noon. We'll have a bunch. I think Shaq Barrett was one of the first ones last year, like the first 20 minutes it was announced he was coming back. So we will have movement. Pewter Report will have you covered as always, and we'll have emergency pods, not emergency pods, but we'll have podcasts rolling out as well. I think tomorrow we might be doing an evening podcast as well, so stay tuned for that time so we have a little bit of news to kind of get to y'all and cover. So stand by for that. Again, make sure you're subscribed to the Pewter Report podcast on YouTube and hit the bell for the notifications for when we go live in case time shift around or we need to do emergency podcasts or anything like that this week. Hit that bell so you don't miss when we go live, so you can jump in here, comment, react with everybody, react with all of us live as well, obviously. But yeah, that'd be terrific if y'all could do that and hit that thumbs up before you're out of this chat. Make sure everybody hits the thumbs up. Give us that boost on YouTube on the SEO. We greatly appreciate it. Good stuff. Tom Brady's back. Mike Florio looking like a clown. It's a great day. This is what we all dream about.
Absolutely.
Fire the cannons, baby.
I honestly did not know what that sound was for a second. I was like, what is he playing? But no, that's fire the cannons indeed. They'll be firing a lot at Ray J this year, I think. So excited to see what the Bucs do. There's lots coming up this week. It's free agency week. Great week to be subscribing to the Pewter Report podcast and follow along at pewterreport.com. Thanks, y'all. We love y'all. Thanks so much for tuning in to another edition of the Pewter Report podcast. Tom Brady is back, baby. Out.